Hey everyone, this is Ferocious Llama here with another deck I'm playing this week. This week I'm just going to play some standard. I haven't played a lot of standard since I got into Magic Online. I always played paper for a lot of years, and then I kind of stepped away from Magic for a couple of years. And then when I came back, I played a little bit of Modern, and I played a lot of the older formats. But standard is something I didn't play a whole bunch of. So here I am, and I'm playing some standard. So I'm playing Jeskai Tokens, which is a pretty sweet deck, actually. At first, I didn't like the idea. I thought it was a little bit cheesy, but hey, it works, and it almost behaves like a combo deck in that it can look like not a lot's going on. Then we can go end of turn to double raise the alarm, with a Monastery Mentor out or something, and then we got a whole ton of tokens and a Jeskai Ascendancy or something, and then things just go kind of crazy from there. And we can a lot of times kill our opponent in 1 or 2 turns, or greatly swing the game around with 1 turn. So I'll start off with a mana base. It's 3 Temple of Triumphs. It's the red-white Scryland. 3 Temple of Epiphanies. More Scrylands. A Sheevan Reef. We don't like the Pain lands only because there's a lot of red decks, and there's that red-white and mono-red, really aggressive decks in standard right now, those are actually sometimes tough to beat if we don't get like an early draw of, if we don't get Raise the Alarm early on against those decks, we're probably going to lose, because even a third turn Hordeling Outburst a lot of the time is just not enough, especially if they go like Rabblemaster and we have nothing to kill it right away, so the game can just get out of control. A couple planes because we have some fetch lands. We have 2 planes and 2 islands. And 3 flooded strands to fetch those plains and islands. We also have the obligatory 4 Mystic Monasteries, because we are playing Jeskai, and 3 mountains. We don't have a way to fetch them, but if you look at all of our other lands, every single non-fetchable land in the deck, excluding Flooded Strand, of course, makes red mana. So having our red mana is really important, and that's actually the only color in the deck that has spells that are double red, and that's Stoke and Hordeling Outburst. And then we run 4 Jeskai Ascendancy, because Jeskai Ascendancy is sweet. When you have 5 tokens, it basically gives everything you control prowess and untap it when you play a spell, and then you can also loot 1 card. I know, I'm sure you guys all know what these cards do, but that's just a super powerful effect if you have a lot of spells, especially when your creatures are cards like Hordeling Outburst and Raise the Alarm. There's that synergy there. Jeskai Charm, I've actually used it before. I've never actually used, in this deck at least, I've never used the deal 4 damage option, because 99% of the time, it's creatures get +1/+1 and gain lifelink. Because if there's a Jeskai Ascendancy out with the charm, and your stuff has prowess, that's +3/+3. So all your 1/1 tokens with prowess from the Monastery Mentor get +4/+4, and then or +3/+3, and then things just get and lifelink. So if you're ever low on life against one of those aggressive decks, that's really the turnaround. Wild Slash, because it's 1 mana removal, which I think is the thing is it's a 2/2, and a lot of things have 3 toughness, and it's kind of it's good to have something that's 1 mana, but late in the game it's not very good. So I'm trying to think if there's ever a time I drew this and was like, no good, because early in the game it's great for killing those pesky Rabblmasters or something like that, and late in the game it's great for untapping all your stuff and making a token, if you have a Monastery Mentor. Or you can even do my very favorite thing, which is take our Soulfire Grandmaster, activate his ability, and then Wild Slash our opponent, and they lose 2 life, we gain 2 life. They take 2 damage, we gain 2 life. And then just keep doing that, which is awesome. And then we got 3 Lightning Strikes. I've done the same thing with these before. Hordeling Outburst, of course, that's one of our creature spells. Our Stoke the Flames, though, this is a real big money maker here with the Soulfire Grandmaster, because we can activate our Soulfire Grandmaster, and if we have 2 Goblin tokens minimum and one other creature of any color, so basically we have a Soulfire Grandmaster and we play a Hordeling Outburst, and 4 mana, we can basically activate Soulfire Grandmaster's return stuff to our hand ability, play Stoke, and then return it to our hand. And so basically, and I know it sounds far-fetched, but it actually happens in games quite often. I thought, when I first saw this deck, I was like, oh, come on, that doesn't happen, that's silly. But I was shocked at how often it happens. Outpost Siege, against anything, pretty much anything except like an aggressive deck, even like a mid-range deck, I find Outpost Siege to be phenomenal because their mid-range game, mid-range decks are, designed for, they're the mid-range decks. But I think just having that one card every single turn is enough to pull us ahead in the long game, because really against a lot of decks, either we're going to be the aggressor and kill them, or we're going to stay alive until we can either kill them in one turn, or once we have an Outpost Siege out, what we'll do is we'll 99% of the time we'll pick cons, and we'll start we're essentially drawing an extra card every single turn, and ultimately we'll win the game. I mean, I've beaten blue-black control before, and all it takes is an Outpost Siege. There's actually 2 more on the board. We have 4 Treasure Cruise, because Treasure Cruise is awesome. This is the only format you can play 4 copies in, so I play 4 copies. And then we have our Monastery... Ooh, those Monastery Mentors. My apologies. Whoops. That's bad. I have 4 in foil. So let's get those non-foil ones out of there. Anyway, Monastery Mentors, makes tokens. That's what they do. They speak little and do much, as the flavor text says. Our Soulfire Grandmasters we talked about. Valorous Stance. Now, Valorous Stance is one of those cards that's versatile, and I love versatility. I think versatility is kind of the key to having a great deck in every format, really. It'll make our stuff indestructible, or a creature of ours, rather, indestructible, or it'll kill something with target toughness 4 or greater. So it's great for killing dragons, and it's great for killing, Siege Rhino, stuff like that. But it's not... but I do find that much of the time, it kills Siege Rhinos. Generally, I'll tell you, 8 out of 10 times, it is either killing a Siege Rhino, specifically Siege Rhino, or we're making something of ours indestructible. And more often, we're making something of ours indestructible, probably 6 of those 8 times. And then the other 2 times, it's killing some weird random creature. Soulfire Grandmaster, super sweet card. I love that card. And then I Raise the Alarm. They're mismatched. I have a whole bunch of M15 ones and then 1 Mirrodin one. So, but hey, we got 4 Raise the Alarms. And then 2 God's Willings. God Willing, it's different than Valorous Stance. The thing is, it's not as versatile, but it's great against like a lot of the red decks. And I especially find that against a lot of decks that, like, this isn't like some of the other formats like Modern, where a lot of decks will just draw a handful of removal and that's kind of their game plan. Or there's just not a lot of decks that have tons of removal. Maybe like the blue-black control deck has a lot of removal. But anyway, God's Willing makes it, gives it protection. And one other thing I want to point out, one little interaction that happened to me the other day was I had a Soulfire Grandmaster in play, and my opponent played what was it? It was I think it was a Wild Slash, and he had Ferocious, so the damage couldn't be prevented. So what I did, and then I was blocking his guy with, I think I had or maybe it was a Monastery, no, it was a Soulfire Grandmaster, but I had a Jeskai Ascendancy out, and I'd already played 1 spell. So I was going to take 2 damage from his guy on my Soulfire Grandmaster, plus 2 damage from the Wild Slash, because damage couldn't be prevented, though. And protection prevents damage. So what I did was, but the other thing that protection does is it can't be targeted by a spell of that color. So he goes Wild Slash on my Soulfire Grandmaster. I go God's Willing in response. So it doesn't prevent the damage from his red creature that I was blocking, but it does prevent the 2 damage from the Wild Slash. So my guy lived. That was kind of a sweet deal. Maybe we'll run into that today. Probably not. Yeah, it was pretty obscure, and I actually only happened to know that because I'm sure you guys have seen some of my articles I've written before, where I played Soul Sisters, and I remember I was playing a red deck, and I had a Auriok Champion, and I blocked a Goblin Guide or something, and he played Skullcrack, and I was like, okay, no problem. And then my guy died, and I was sad. So, the sideboard, we got a whole bunch of, sometimes we're not the aggressor, so we got to have End Hostilities. We got a Magma Spray and a Anger of the Gods. Magma Spray is really for, there are a lot of decks that try to, whip stuff back from the graveyard and things like that. So it's just kind of it's a real broad sideboard. It's got two more Outpost Sieges. I think the deck list I saw originally only had one, but I was like, no, Outpost Siege is so good. I want more. So I ended up putting two. I think is what it was. Or maybe they had two, I think they had two End Hostilities instead or something. But I think it's a super sweet card, and I honestly think I might put one more in the sideboard, because against those control matchups, usually a lot of times on my turn 3, I'll have enough stuff to kill him our opponent next turn, and they'll have to use, some kind of wrath effect like an End Hostilities, or blue-black control will have to do something to wipe out our board, but then they're all tapped out on their turn. Or they'll do, I think it's Crux of Fate or whatever that kill all dragons or non-dragons from Fate Reforged, the black one, 5 mana. I think it's called Crux of Fate. Anyway, they'll do that, but then they'll be tapped out and we'll go bam, Outpost Siege. And then it's like, it's almost to me, like, I don't want to sound, like, I don't know. I kind of feel like, oh, game's over. I won already. Because if you can't kill my Outpost Siege, I'm just going to draw double cards that you draw. I don't care how many spells you play to draw more cards. You're never getting that same advantage. Like, even like you'd have to play, essentially they'd have to play an Inspiration Divination or Inspiration every single turn of the game to keep up. Just to keep up, because it costs them 1 card to draw 2. So they're essentially drawing 1 extra card. So, and you just can't do that. They just don't play that much stuff. The best they have is Jace's Ingenuity, but they're not playing one of those every 3rd turn. Just doesn't work that way in blue-black control. So this actually does really well against control. And the other thing we do is we sideboard in Disdainful Stroke to kill all of his big, any big threats he may play. Numerous times this has saved me from Crux of Fate when I had, 2 tokens, a Jeskai Ascendancy, and a whole bunch of spells I could play next turn to make my 2 tokens giant to kill our opponent. And then negates to kill, basically to counter spells. It's really for the control matchup. The blue package here, counter spell package, is just for the blue matchup. So anyway, this is the deck. I'm going to jump into a 2-man queue, and we will play us a match. Okay. Constructed. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm taking forever, but here we go. Someone's here, and we're for it. It is for real. 4373. And we rolled a 4. They rolled a 6. Now this hand is not acceptable because we have 1 Flooded Strand. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to throw it back. This hand is totally keepable. We've got all 3 of our colors, and we can play Temple. We can just. I'd prefer to have something else, like a Mystic Monastery, so that we can not scry on the first turn because we don't know what we're playing against. But hey, this will work. We'll play it. So hopefully our opponent doesn't go, turn 1 something. Hopefully they just don't go turn 3 Rabble Master, because that's just death. Alright, so we drew a Jeskai Charm. Alright, we're going to play our Temple of Triumph first, because we got, 3 spells. I actually really like the Sheevan Reef, only because we don't need any more land, really, because we got enough, but it comes into play on tap. So I think that's going to make it so on turn 3 we can play something worthwhile. So I'm a little worried about him going Rabble Master on us, but at least he doesn't have any more tap lands or scry lands or anything like that, so that's good. Okay, so we'll play our Temple, and we will keep the Hordling Outburst. And I guess we're going to just pass the turn back. This is one of those times that just makes you nervous. I always wonder if our opponent just drew that land, so it's safe to assume he doesn't have any more land in his hand. So that's a very good thing for us. So I don't know. I'm just wondering if our opponent is playing like some kind of Jeskai control list, maybe? I don't know if that's a thing, but maybe. So we just played our Hordling Outburst. We're going to pass the turn back. And potentially next turn we'll play our Jeskai Charm. We'll see what our opponent does. Okay, so he's got a Hordling Outburst too. Fine, fair enough, right? We ain't going to argue about that. But what we are going to do is attack. I think this time I'd like to have some more white mana. So I'm going to play... I'm probably going to play our Mystic Monastery, but first I'm going to attack. And if he blocks, I'm going to Jeskai Charm him. Just to wreck his day. Alright. Let's see what happens. Hopefully he blocks. I don't know. Makes me think he's got a... he didn't block. So, alright. I guess. I suppose you can not block if you don't want to. I really don't like that idea of not leaving Stoke up. I'm a little concerned. I probably should have left Stoke up by only attacking with 2 tokens, but then he could have, you know. But hopefully he doesn't go, you know, Ascendancy kill us. And he's going to go Ascendancy kill us now, because that's always seems to be how it goes. Okay, sure. Yeah, okay. Jeskai Ascendancy, right. Duly noted, friend. Alright, well, we are going to raise the alarm. Alright. And we do a Battlefield Forge. Let's see. So we can do 4 damage. So right now it'll do... Jeskai Charm will do 5 damage and gain us 10 life. Should we decide to use it. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to play Temple of Epiphany. I'm going to attack. I'm going to... that's the thing. I want to leave up Stoke. Because next turn we're going to have problems. So... I think what we'll do is let's just attack here. And we'll see what our opponent does. Whoops. We're attacking with everything. And he goes to Wild Slash our guy. Okay. Well. That's okay. He can Wild Slash our guy. And it's going to untap his guys. And one thing I do want to say about the mirror match here is that the pivotal card, no exaggeration of any kind, the pivotal card is most certainly going to be Jeskai Ascendancy. Okay, fair enough. So we're going to go white, red, blue. And we're going to give all of our guys +1/+1 lifelink. And we'll trade. And see, the only problem with this is he's able to loot through his deck now. So honestly, our chances of winning this game are not terribly good. Just because of the nature of... just because of the nature of the deck. You know? I mean, hey, maybe we'll get lucky. And he's got nothing, but we'll see. I'm sure he was not expecting us to kill all of his Hordling Outburst guys. So, that was not a terrible trade for us. Yeah, see. Oh, we're just going into his main phase now. I wonder what he's thinking about playing. That's weird. I wonder why he paused so long. And Rabble Master, sure. Yeah, Rabble Master. Great! Nothing like a Rabble Master to F your day up. Okay, yeah, you're going to attack me for 1. Yeah. Yeah, that sucks, man. I dig. Is he going to play a spell? That's fine. You can play a spell to get one more damage in. That's cool. I'm at 25 life. And by my calculation, that is fine. But he is holding up a blue and a, multicolor land. So I'm kind of thinking he might have a counter spell, but I don't know. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play my Battlefield Forge, and then I'm going to play my Monastery Mentor. And now I've got creatures and people, creatures, to stoke his guy. Yeah. Do we want him raising the alarm? No, we do not. But let's let him loot first. The only thing is I'd like to build a block, but I don't know. So he discarded a Soulfire Grandmaster. Sure. Yeah, sometimes these token matchups are tough. I mean, they just are. It's kind of unfortunate, but hey, what you gonna do? But it's alright. We got a sideboard for it. We have our Outpost Siege. I don't know if that's really going to be helpful in this matchup. I haven't played the Mirror a lot, to be honest. I've only played it once or twice, and I don't think I won. So, yeah. Yeah, maybe, you know what? I shouldn't have. Okay, so he's going to stoke our guy. So we're going to stoke his Rabblemaster back. So, yeah, it looks like he's just, got it all, which is not necessarily, well, it's not even necessarily good. It's not good, period. So, that's kind of a bummer. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, just the other day I was watching I'm trying to think of where I watched it. It was something about win percentages. Oh, you know what it was? I was listening to the Limited Resources podcast, which I'm in no way affiliated with Marshall Sutcliffe and Louis Scott Vargas. And LSV was talking about how, even the best players in the world, like Finkel in his prime, Treasure Cruise. Okay, yeah, we can win this one now. This game's over, guys. Just so in case you didn't know, we'll just play it out though, to see what happens. And I can finish telling my story about what I heard on Limited Resources if you don't listen to it. Anyway, the best players in the world only get about 65%. Have a 65% win ratio. So it's the best in the world only get 65%. So yeah, we can't win this game because he's got double Jeskai Ascendancy, and we have no way to kill them in our main deck, and he's going to attack us for 9 right now with a whole bunch of 3/3s. So, okay, now he's going to Wild Slash. Who runs more than one Wild Slash? Didn't he Wild Slash us earlier? Well, he's got a lot of Wild Slashes. That's too much Wild Slashes, in my opinion. Okay, so he's going to kill our Prowess guy. And now he's going to attack us with 3 5/5s and loot twice. And he's got 2 cards in hand, so... and of course he discards land, so he's got a lot of good stuff. So yeah, we're I think the word is screwed on this game, but whatever. But anyway, best players in the world only win about 65% of their games, so you can't really get mad. You can just make jokes about praying to LSV to be whitelisted. So God's willing, yeah, glad you came now. So I guess we're gonna die next turn. But in the meantime, we'll play an Outpost Siege and say cons, just because we have no other reason to. But guy, yeah. So he's going to attack us for 9 this turn, and we're going to chump block, and then we're going to lose next turn. Unless he drew, like, 2 spells. If he's got 2 spells, which isn't unlikely, because he does have, a whole mess of guys. He's got a whole mess of Jeskai's tendencies. So every card that he draws, if he's got 1 spell, because he looted twice last turn, he's going to play it, loot twice, and unless he draws 3 lands in a row, like 1 first turn, 1 from each Jeskai Ascendancy, it's not happening, folks. So, bummer. But, whatever. So, that's always my logic is, when you think you're about to lose a game, you just sit back and, okay, so he killed our guy, and then his guys are going to all be 3/3s, and then he's going to attack us for 9. So there's nothing we can do. Because he runs apparently a lot of wild slashes. Probably because he built his deck to beat Jeskai Ascendancy, which is like, I don't get it, but whatever, So we're going to take out our Outpost Siege because that's too slow. Too slow. Well, I don't know. We're going to take out Valorous Stance for sure. Because he doesn't really have any creatures that are big and easy to kill, you know what I mean? So maybe we should lose the God's Willings because those weren't good either. We need Erases to kill his stuff. And then we need 1 more card. I'm kind of thinking maybe we should lose the Jeskai Charm and we'll put in 2... We'll put back our 1 Outpost Siege plus 1 more. Because I think that would be good. So we have a little bit more burn. We have 1 more burn spell, 1 Anger of the Gods. And then, I always kind of feel like 4 Treasure Cruises is really a lot for this deck. Especially if you don't have an Ascendancy out. So I think I'm going to cut 1 for 1 more Outpost Siege. This card's so, like, I don't know how you guys feel about this card right now. But honestly, Outpost Siege is like superstar. And I think it's going to be like multi-format superstar, honestly. So we're going to play again, and hopefully we don't just get slaughtered this time. Okay, we don't have any blue mana, but we don't have any blue cards. So I don't like having 3 Monastery Mentors and just to stoke the flame. But we do have an Erase, so I think we're going to keep this. And, being on the mulligan last time really sucked. So, and I think we'll just kind of try and scry us into a blue land, or at least another land. That's really what's important. So, but I think Jeskai Tokens is kind of turning into a lot more popular deck than I've seen before. I mean, it's really super powerful. I mean, you saw it last game. Especially when they get like double Jeskai Ascendancy, it's like unlosable. So, too bad it wasn't us. But hey, and there is a possibility that I could have played the game a little bit differently. Only because I don't know why he ran so many wild slashes though. That guy's out of control. Is it for real? 4-3-7-3 runs too many wild slashes. That's Ferocious Llama's opinion. But so I don't know. To me, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I don't know if there was anything I could have played better. I'll have to watch the playback. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever like recorded a video while you're playing. It's hard to like to like make the best play while you're playing. Just because you get distracted talking about whatever, or talking about what you're doing or why you're doing it. In fact, I have some videos of me playing. I was trying to think, what was I playing against? I was playing against, I don't know, some deck that used that card. I think it's called Wrench Mind in Modern, that says discard 2 cards or an artifact. So I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and discard my... I didn't think it said... I knew what it said. I'd seen the card. I remember when it was in Standard way back in the old days. And I was like, okay, I'll just discard my 2 Ensnaring Bridges. And I was like, oh no, when I watched the video. So, sorry if I've made any bad playbacks. I don't know what our opponent is taking so long to do. But he's doing something for a very long time. So I don't know. I think I'll take a moment to kind of rant and rave. Well, not rant and rave, but talk about my new recording equipment. Before I used to use I didn't get sponsored on this stuff or anything. I had to go buy it all. But I bought a Blue Yeti microphone instead of I had a Blue Snowball, which was pretty good. And I actually used it for some podcasting that I had done and, some interviews, and some, various other projects, that I had done. And it worked great for me. The only thing is it's old. It got a little discolored from the sun at some point. It was white, and now it's like parts of it are a little yellow. But that doesn't bother me. It still worked great. The only thing was I remember reading reviews about it that it picked up a lot of background noise, and I always thought it was my fan in my computer because I put a video card in my computer, and it had this little tiny fan that was just bzzz, like a bee. It was super buzzy. And I was like, guys, what's wrong with this thing? Like, it's so noisy. And then it started squeaking, so I replaced it with another fan, same fan, and it was still buzzy. So I ended up having to build what do they call that? Like a cowl? I built I took off the plastic, cowl that was on there to direct the air through the heatsink fins, and I built like a new one using a 120 millimeter fan. It spins much slower and it's quiet. So, anyway, my computer got quiet. But anyway, then it didn't make a difference with the Snowball microphone. It just picks up any noise in the background. And I think it's just because of where the sensors are placed in the microphone, that no matter what setting you use, it's always going to pick up a lot of extra sound. So, alright, it's our turn. Sorry I know I talked longer than I needed to. But our opponent was, obviously taking a quick bathroom break or, taking a nap or something. Oh, right, Mystic Monastery. We're good with that. So our opponent was obviously probably away from their computer, or they were seriously considering whether or not to mulligan. I'm a little more, let's give it a shot. Just because I'm not, maybe I'm not as competitive as some guys. But, we had 2 lands, and it seems good. We got something to kill their Jeskai Tokens, and we got triple Monastery Mentor. When is triple Monastery Mentor bad, right? Well, I suppose it's bad when you only have 2 lands, but hey, it could happen to anyone. So, alright, we're going to go Monastery Mentor here. And he'll have to answer that next turn. He might have, Lightning Strike or something, and that's fine. We got 2 more. We got more where that came from. So. And we also got like a Stoke if he goes Rabble Master, which is, worst case scenario. I'm hoping what he does is he'll probably kill our Monastery Mentor. Maybe he's got a counterspell. I wonder if he's got a counterspell, or if he's just away from the computer. Maybe he wants it to think he has a counterspell, because that was a lot of thinking for counterspell. Because if he kills it right now, he wouldn't have thought so long, because he could have just said, "Oh, I'll just kill it at end of turn." So if he kills it, he does not have a counterspell. Is what I would say, and I could be totally wrong. I'm not a professional Magic player, so. So, I don't know. Maybe he's not at his computer. Or they aren't at their computer. I want to be gender neutral. But, yeah, I don't know. But hopefully they kept like a 1-lander or something and they just got lucky on the Sheevan Reef. But I don't know. But if he does kill my guy, I'm sincerely hoping he plays a Jeskai Tokens next turn and we'll erase that sucker. Because that thing has problems, as you guys saw last game. It's like, really in the mirror, Jeskai Tokens is free win. Because even if you can get, 1 or 2 spells off under it, you're like, bam. You're doing good. You're doing real, real good. So, okay. So he had a kill spell. I wonder if he just plays really... You know what it's funny to me? Is that, like, in the 2-mans, people play very, very, very slow. And it's like, why are we playing so slow, man? It's a little funny to me, because it's like so... Oh, God, Goblin Rabble Master. All right. Okay, fair enough. So, I'm trying to think, what could we draw? If we do a Raise the Alarm, that would be awesome. Because we could go Raise the Alarm, tap those 2 tokens, and kill Rabble Master after we play our land. Because, Raising Alarm would essentially be a free spell. So, but yeah, see, I don't know if it's laggy or if, The opponent always plays real slow, but it looks like we're just going to get slaughtered. Guy, Rabblemaster's so good. Why don't I run Rabblemaster? Because I run Monastery Mentor. Per LSV recommendation. But Guy, Rabblemaster's so good. The only thing is, if we had like a... Maybe in the mirror he's really good, but, you know... Because I think in the mirror he's probably great, because he makes a token every single turn. He's not that hard to kill, though, to be fair. But I do think that, like, if we had like a Courser of Crufix, it would just be like, okay, you played a 2/2 for 3 mana. You know, I have a Simian Spirit Guide too. So, you know, well, he does get +1/+0 when he attacks, because every single Goblin token gets chump blocked. Or, you know, his chump attacks, because it has to. So, I don't know. But, God, that would suck. I would feel bad, because usually I do these videos just in the tournament practice room. But you know what? It's like kind of lost its allure to play in the tournament practice room, because there's so much nonsense. I mean, you get some decks that are just like designed to beat one other kind of deck, and either you just destroy them because their deck wasn't designed to beat yours, or they just destroy you because they were designed to beat you. And it's kind of like, but that's not how the game's supposed to work. You're supposed to have like a competitive deck within a field, not, you know, just against me or my deck or whatever. So, I don't know, but, I feel bad that we're just going to get slaughtered on our first trip out to, on our first trip out to the 2-man queue, on video at least. I play a lot of the 2-man queues, but I don't like doing it right now, because speaking of Magic Finance, which I know is a big topic, is like a pack of cons is like $2.20 or something. They're real cheap. Hey, let me look it up on my other monitor real quick. It's yeah, Cons of Tarkir Booster is $2.26. And here it's $2 to play, you know, for one pack. So it's like I win 26 cents if I win, and I lose $2 if I, I mean, that's terrible odds. You wouldn't take those to Vegas. And if you would, you've got problems. So, yeah, that's a terrible deal. So, oh my gosh, our opponent finally went on. But anyway, yeah, so I don't really like playing like right now, because they're still giving cons packs, which I'm like, why? Why don't you give Fate Reforged packs? Because those are actually $4.08 from a bot, which is more expensive than you can buy them from Wizards, which is one of the weirder things, but whatever. So, let's see. I wonder what we could do. Oh, raise the alarm! Go us! I think what we will do is we will wait till our opponent does something. And hopefully he will spend mana. Because I don't like the way he waited so much. Now I'm nervous he might have a counterspell, but I don't know if counterspells are good in the mirror. I just don't know if that's good. That just doesn't seem like the right play. It seems like you just be more aggressive than the other guy. At least to me. Hey, I don't know. I'm by no means am I an expert at anything. So I don't know what the best course of action to take is. But anyway, in the 2-man queues, it's funny because, when you're playing for your quarter, your 26 cents of potential win, it's like, this is, oh crap, we should have done this sooner. I didn't think of that second token. Dang it, I forgot about that. All right, now we're going to go, yeah, you can have your +1/+0 per attacking goblin. We're going to go, oh no, we don't want that. We want this one. We're going to raise the alarm. Yeah, raise the alarm. That's right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to block Rabblemaster. And then we're going to wait, see if he does any kind of combat trick to save his Rabblemaster. Because why wouldn't you, right? It's a Rabblemaster. You want to say, oh, sorry, brah. It doesn't work that way. You and all your wild slashes can go home. Sure, man. I'll trade you 1 for 1, a token for a... I'll trade you 1 for 1 all day long, a token for a wild slash. That's a great deal. Go us. I mean, serious? That was good trade. Good trade. We want that. That was an excellent trade in my non-expert opinion. And then we're going to go Monastery Mentor because he just blew a wild slash. And I think, yeah, might as well. No reason not to attack. We're not going to block. So I think our opponent was mana screwed and he took a crappy hand of 1 land, probably. Maybe 2. Yeah, sure, bro. Raise the alarm. Good job. Good for you. Proud of you. You raised that alarm. And you go, oh, another Rabblemaster? Jeez. Well, it's okay. We got a Stoke on top, right? Stoke is good. Oh, man. He's going to kill our dude. Huh. Why didn't he play no Jeskai Ascendancies? Sure. Yeah, you can attack me for 2. That's fair. Alright, let's see. What do I got? I think what we're going to do is we're going to go bam, bam, bam. We're going to go Mentor. That's all we can do. Go Mentor. Then we got 2 red available. Yeah, we'll just have to... well, this time we're going to block because he got a lot of tokens. And when he goes into his attack step, we're going to... God, I don't know what to do. Oh, he's going to play a spell. Oh, God. Bunch of goblins, though. Yuck. That's fine. We're going to stoke his guy when he goes into his attack step now. Stoke! And we're still going to take 5 damage, which is so much. But hey, that's all we can do. Guy, Rabblemaster's good in the mirror. Huh. Huh, who'd have thought, right? Rabblemaster's good? Oh, please, come on, man. Another Stoke the Flames? Guy, why does he have so many Stoke the Flames? And how come this is gold? This is an uncommon card. Fine. Well, hey, we're taking less damage. Jeez, this is so bad. He's just got, like, all the burn. But it's one of those things where I think he would just lose to... Oh, great, Wild Slash. Yeah, Wild Slash. That's good for us. I'm being sarcastic, because, God, that's not going to do enough. And watch, he's going to go, Rabblemaster, again, and screw, freaking kill us. Sucks. Okay, we're going to block. And then we pass priority, and then we go, Wild Slash's dude. And then we get prowess, and then he's probably got more burn. Ridiculous. Okay, we're at 6. This is bad. How come we've never drawn a Soulfire Grandmaster? That's what I want to know. So, I'm a little disappointed in the way this is all going, but... well, I'm extremely disappointed in the way this is going. Because he's got more tokens than us, constantly. Yeah, see, we didn't draw anything good. So, next turn, we're going to lose to all of his goblins. So, anyway... God, that was bad. Anyway, this is Jeskai Tokens. Yeah, so he's just going to attack us next turn. But anyway, well, you saw how Jeskai Tokens work, just not from my side of the board. I think maybe... I don't know. A lot of people have said, Rabblemaster is better than Monastery Mentor. And you know what? I would venture to say that in the aggressive matchups, it probably is. So maybe it's a sideboard thing or a maybe lose like a, something like a Jeskai Charm or a Wild Slash, something. Is putting the majority of the ability is putting creatures on top of the deck, or rather, is not putting creatures on top of the deck, and it's almost never doing 4 damage to an opponent because we've got 4 Stokes. It's most likely, giving our stuff +1/+1 and lifelink, which is great, but at the same time, and yeah, it's saved me a few times, but there's only 1 in the deck, so it's not like something we could reliably draw. So I almost think like losing a Wild Slash and like a Monastery Mentor, maybe a Jeskai Charm. The only thing is if we start putting in cutting non-creatures for creatures, like if we take out a Wild Slash and a Jeskai Charm for 2 Rabble Masters, then we have 2 less spells to trigger our prowess on Monastery Mentor and on Jeskai Ascendancy, and to abuse Soulfire Grandmaster. So those games are going by real fast. Jeez, it's kind of depressing, but anyway, that's the deck. I think it's a super fun deck. Obviously it doesn't do well against Rabble Masters in the mirror, but honestly, I think for control, it's a great deck. But anyway, hope you liked the video, and thanks for watching.